Steve Rutt in the afternoon. There's Eternal, BB Winans. I want to be the only one. Well, now, coming up in the socials, next hour, A-level results, of course. Who's leaving? Enders. Showbiz, Matt Goss and Peter Hook. There's Tim, there's Bobby, there's Catherine, there's Shadnam, the Factoids, and our guest, somebody called Simon Mayo. Some kind of author. In the United Kingdom, across the earth, it's BBC Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app on your smart speaker at 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 4 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. The Universities and Colleges Admissions Service, UCAS, says 2/3 of A-level students have got their first choice university. Hundreds of thousands of pupils across England, Wales and Scotland have been finding out their A-level results and BTEC and T-level vocational qualifications. The overall pass rate was 98.4%, down slightly on a year ago. But Catherine Cezanne from the Association of Colleges says students shouldn't panic if they haven't got the results they want.
There are options for everybody, whether that's going through clearing or whether you look at doing an apprenticeship or going straight into employment. I think the key thing is to take advice, the National Careers Service, go to your local school or college and speak to them and say, you know, what are the options? And you don't have to make options right this minute today, but do give yourself time to think about what you want to do next.
The founder of the website Mumsnet, Justine Roberts, says parents need to tread carefully.
There's lots of stories of people saying, well, you did well, but not as well as your brother. And that's also something that I think all of us can empathise with, that this is our own sort of journey and not one to be compared. So I think it is about, you know, keeping your own emotions in check and bearing in mind that whatever you're feeling, your child's probably feeling worse about it.
Rail services around the UK will wind down early today, with some stopping by 6 p.m. as part of industrial action by 3 unions. Around half the country's rail lines have been closed and only a fifth of services have run today because of the ongoing dispute about pay and conditions. A former SNP MP, Margaret Ferrier, has pleaded guilty at Glasgow Sheriff Court to breaching COVID rules. Ferrier admitted she culpably and recklessly exposed people to coronavirus by travelling on a train between Scotland and London after being told to self-isolate in September 2020. She lost the SNP whip but has continued as an independent MP. A region of Switzerland is planning to pilot the sale of cannabis at some pharmacies next month as a step towards legalising the drug. The 2.5-year study of 370 volunteers will examine the effects of regulated cannabis sales on consumption and on the health of users. Elliot Rolfe's a lawyer who specialises in the legality of psychoactive drugs, and he says it's part of a growing trend.
A lot of people have done sort of pilots, and in some cases they haven't. When we've got in other jurisdictions, say, you know, the US, we've got 19 states at the moment, I think, that you can just walk into a dispensary, you can buy recreational cannabis. Same, I think Germany's set to legalise later this year. And those were obviously decisions made as a result of the outcome of research like this, which has worked quite well.
And Amol Rajan is to become the new host of University Challenge, taking over from Jeremy Paxman, who's been in the chair for 28 years. Amol Rajan will step down as the corporation's media editor later this year before taking on the role. And that's the BBC News at 4 minutes past 4.
Thanks, Catherine. Now, Shadnam Yunus-Jewel.
Let's start with live cricket, Steve. South Africa continuing their strong start to the first test after bowling England out for 165 on day 2 at Lords. They've lost their second wicket in the last half hour, moving on to 149 for 2. While in the 100, Southern Brave women are hoping to continue their perfect start as they take on Manchester Originals in Southampton's. Originals chose to bat and are currently 64 for 1 with 58 balls left. The men's match follows tonight. At the European Championships in Munich, Great Britain's Jake Whiteman, Keely Hodgkinson Wilson and Gemma Reekie all won their 800 metres heat to go through to tomorrow's semi-finals. You can currently watch the latest diving action on BBC One from Rome. In football, Nottingham Forest have agreed a £25 million deal plus add-ons for Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder Morgan Gibbs-White. And Europa League qualifying continues tonight with Hearts' first European tie in 6 years. Their playoff first leg against Zurich will take place in St Gallen's Stadium tonight. And after that, West Ham welcome Danish side Viborg in their Europa Conference League playoff.
Thank you.